Hey everyone, it's Lisa from Primitive Gatherings, and it's time to do our monthly mini. So our monthly mini this time is called Evelyn, and it is named after my maternal grandmother. As you know, this whole series is about my mom and her sisters, and I had 2 spots left, so I'm going to do Grandma, who is Evelyn. And just by the way, my grandmother's name was Evelyn, and my grandpa's name was Adam. So Adam and Eve. All right, and this is Joanne, my friend. I was going to get to her, don't worry. But so Grandma had 18 children, and my mom passed away this year, so I decided to do a series of mini quilts based on her sisters and her and one extra person. So I just want to show you that I did this mini. Joanne, what does that say?
2000.
26 years ago, all right, and hand quilted it, and I thought it was time to redo this mini, and I came up with this fabric line from Jo Morton, and we picked out 20 fabrics from her fabric line that just came out, and I asked Joanne to help me with this project because it's done a little bit differently as a mini. All right, so we made it a little bit bigger, so it's a little different, but that is called Evelyn, and I believe Grandma had to be a little tipsy because the name of this block is called Drunkard's Path, so I figured Grandma had to be a little tipsy to have 18 children, right? All right, so that's all I'm going to say about that, but I don't blame her. I couldn't imagine. Okay, so what we're going to do on this one here is this is what we need to sew together, but I'm going to show you a fast way. Me and my friend here, Joanne, are going to show you how we did this. So Joanne is a master appliquer, and I like to ask for help every once in a while, and we just did a video on Betsy, which was another hand applique quilt. So if you love hand applique, check out Betsy as well. But this is all done by hand. It is not done on the machine sewing curves like some of the Drunkard's Path tutorials and options go that way. So should we tell them how we did it?
With circles.
Circles. All right, so what we did is, or what Joanne did, but I did it back in the day, 26 years ago, I did it myself. You applique a circle onto a square and then you cut it in 4, and that's what makes that. All right, so I'm going to have Joanne explain to you how she's going to applique, but first your kit is going to come with 20 dark fabrics and then 1 hunk of light fabric. We used 1 light for everything. And on each of those fabrics, you're going to be able to cut 2 backgrounds, which is the background, and 2 circles. So see the brown? And that is big enough to do that, and that's all you need for 1 block. All right, so let's talk about the supplies then that we need as well.
Okay, so you'll have your fabrics. You'll need a pencil. I'm sure they're number 2s or whatever.
Something that'll draw on fabric.
You're going to need a ruler.
Okay, I love how you picked the Primitive Gatherings one.
Oh, that's been in my box ever since I got it. I do my applique with papers, and I use a Soline pen.
Glue pen.
Glue pen, and I'll show you how I use that. And then this is my all the time scissors. And then, oh, sorry.
It's a little snips, really.
Yeah.
You call it a scissors, though.
Yeah. And then your good scissors for cutting out of your fabric. And then you're going to want your applique thread. And for this one, because it wasn't all florals and stuff, I didn't use my one that I use for everything. This one I tried to match up my golds a little bit and my browns, and I ended up doing a lot of the same colors over and over again.
Yeah, because you really don't see it at all. No. And you had to have a cream for the cream circle, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
That I did with all one thread.
Yep.
Creams.
Okay.
Yep. And then you need applique pins, little applique pins, and then basting thread. Okay?
Okay.
And flatter. And I'll show you why I use flatter. And then
circle template?
I use a circle template. because for this project, you do not need to go out and buy,
Fancy pre-cut papers.
no, or a template or
Yeah.
anything, because you'll notice on this quilt, Lisa asked me to bring one, and I brought one that had a lot of circles on it. And so I used the same method for every circle size that is on here for this project, and I always just make my own papers. And the reason you'll see why is that you can just use them over and over again. You're not
Big ones you can make into smaller ones. Yeah, I got
and you're
you.
not stitching into the papers.
Okay.
Okay, so
All right,
I'll
so
show you how I
just
do it.
give us a little information about your beautiful quilt here. Whose quilt design is it?
McLean
Okay.
from Australia,
Okay.
and hers are very, 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 very busy. And on
Is this Tilda fabric?
this is all Tilda. Everything on here is Tilda.
Okay.
And I saw one block on probably an applique site that showed up on
your
Facebook,
feed.
on
Yeah.
the feed, and I say, oh, I got to do that. And so we found the pattern because they had it on there who the designer was, and
Which is nice when people give you that information.
we need that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, because that inspires you.
Right. And you go find it
Yep.
that way. Yep.
Yep. And for this particular quilt, hers are very, very busy. And if you can believe this, it was busier than this. And so this has a lot of adjustments to it. She had things in all the other spots.
So you did your own thing with
I
it.
did my own thing. I put birds. The birds were across the top, but there were stars up in there and a bunch of stuff. And so then at the bottom, can I
Is that
lift
an
it up?
apple?
At the bottom, I did the birds the other direction.
Oh, so that way and then that way.
Yeah, and she had a-
Migrating this way and then that way,
And
right?
she had all flowers down
Okay.
there. So I just made how I would do it different because I do
Oh.
that with almost every quilt.
Yep.
And
So that's a flower vase.
that's a
It
vase,
almost looked like
and
an
that's
apple.
the big flower up
Yeah,
there.
okay.
Well, you know how much I love Tilda.
Yeah.
And this is Tilda, and I could fussy, you know,
Fussy
I'm a
cutter.
fussy
It looks
cutter.
like a real,
I'm a fussy cutter.
yeah.
Every chance I get, see
Okay.
my birds.
Oh, yeah. Good job, Joanne.
Yep.
All right. So she loves her applique. Don't
Yeah.
don't think she doesn't.
Yep.
So that's why she was the perfect one to do this for me. Yep. Okay. So
Okay, so to start, I use one of these so that no matter what size it is for the back or what size looks right, I've got templates that I can make my papers myself and whatever size.
yep. So
And
your
so-
pattern will tell you what size that you have to cut and trace and do all
Yep.
that stuff. Okay.
And so I cut my papers, and you only need a bunch, not a lot, just
Okay.
because you're not going to do anything to them to destroy them. And then I take it and take my ruler and do 3/8 inch bigger all the way around. And so I just make little marks. Doesn't have to be perfect because this is for your fabric to get the right size for your fabric. And then
So you're making a second template with a
this
3/8 inch,
this is my template without buying
a fancy one.
a fancy one.
Yep. Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
So this is for my fabric. I'm going
All
to,
right. Put that underneath in the middle.
no,
Oh, you need to go over here. I got
I need to go over
Yep.
here.
Kaylee will come and zoom in on us.
Okay.
All right.
Because you're just going to take this on your fabric and just draw all the way around it.
And whatever marker you have works too, right? If you have a darker fabric and you can't see the pencil.
I've actually had that happen where the backs of fabrics are real dark.
Yeah.
And I use my liquid chalk pen.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So now you have your
Circle.
circle of fabric. Guess what? That's
Oh,
your
you
pencil.
got mine over there?
Okay, so now you're just going to cut out with your good scissors. So what's wonderful about and why I do so much applique is that I can do all this stuff in my chair. The only time I need to be up and about is for pressing and get my fabrics nice. And then, so now you have your circle. So now you take your
The circle that's
templates
the
you
right
made.
size that you need, yeah.
Yep. And you're going to glue, put it on your fabric so it doesn't slide around. And at home, I make
You
a
would
bunch.
prep a bunch of them.
I would be doing all of these, and then I'd stick them under one of a book I'm reading.
Okay.
And
As a weight to get
just
them
as a
nice and
little
flat.
weight, and that way when I pick them up 10 minutes or half hour later, they're all ready to go.
And they're not going to move or slide around because the
not gonna
glue is
move.
dried.
So for this here, this is what I used for my
Basting?
basting around. And so this thread is not my good thread. This is a thread someone gave me because I've used up all my own old thread.
All your crappy threads, right?
Yes. And so it doesn't matter if it's rayon or whatever the thread is.
It's just going to come out. So it's just in place to baste, and then you're
Yep.
going to pull it out.
I,
Yep.
I never leave any basting thread
Yep.
in my quilt. So now I'm going to baste around the circle and start from the back side because it's going to end up on the outside and you want to
Okay.
be able to see it. And it can be a clunky knot because you want to be able to see it good. And so then you're just going to go in from the back.
And just so you know, Joanne put this on the back side of the fabric.
Yes, always on the back. Then you just baste all the way around.
Kind of a clunky running stitch.
Yes. And I use a chenille needle. Doesn't have to be
Anything special, whatever, a
no,
needle you like.
or whatever
probably.
you like. Yeah.
Whatever's easy to thread, right?
Yes. So for this part, it's easier to thread. But I use chenille needles for a lot of stuff.
You see it's already starting to come around.
Yep. I do this with every size circle.
Are you kind of going in the middle of the
Yeah.
seam allowance?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't want it too close, but you don't want it on the edge either.
Okay.
Just right in the middle.
Perfect. And you're almost
I
back to
can
the
see.
beginning.
Yes, and you want to end up on the outside, next, close to your knot.
Okay. But not past it.
No, I don't go past.
Okay.
And now you're going to scrunch it up, and you're going to have to hold it tight. And then you're going to take this hand and hold it really tight there, and then you're just going to go in and make a slip knot. That's the hardest part about this whole thing,
Making the knot at the
making
end.
that last knot.
There you
And
go.
there you go. And that's it.
And then you
And then look, beautiful circles.
right, and it's already got that natural, like not like a rounded, so it's not
Yep.
so flat. It's got that little bit of puff to it. Yeah, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Like if you press it, it'd be too flat. I like it that they have a little bit of bounce to them.
Okay, so now you're going to have a bunch of them done. And then you're going to take this over to your ironing board, and I put a towel on, and I spray it with flatter. Now flatter holds it all flat, nice together, and so you can take your paper back out. And don't use starch, because when you hand applique, you want to have that real nice to go in with the needle, and
So the starch makes it too stiff.
too stiff.
For hand applique.
So there's other products out
Yeah.
there
And you like the flatter. Okay.
So I learned that from Jen Kingwell. She uses flatter, and I've been using it ever since.
Perfect. So like you said, when you take classes, you learn, you'll always learn something, whether it's a better way, whether it's a better product, whatever. You will learn some of those things that make your life easier.
Yep, and I love it. Okay, so now it's on firmly so that you can take your...
So like this one?
Yes.
Okay.
So now this one has been sprayed and ironed. And so now I'm going to go where I ended to take out my basting. And you just pull it all the way out.
I see why you like that little snips.
Oh, this is wonderful for so many things.
I think you got it. Right there it is.
Oh, there it is. Then find your knot. Just comes right out.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right. And now you're going to show us how to get it on its background.
Okay. So I discovered, according to Lisa's drawing that she gave me,
How I did it 26 years ago.
that you just set this in the middle, and you get pretty good at eyeballing it. But it's a 1/2 inch
All
on
the way
each
around.
side. And I always checked. I always checked, even though I knew I was getting good at eyeballing. And then you can see these that I gave to Lisa. We're going to put applique pins in. I probably put about 4 in.
Well, some people want to glue that thing down. You don't want to glue it, right? Because you don't want it stiff in the middle, right?
I don't put any
Okay.
glue on fabric ever.
Okay, good.
No, I don't.
Just on the paper.
I just do it on the paper.
I
and
like
only
that.
a little bit.
Yep.
Right in the center.
That makes perfect sense.
Yep.
All right, and
then now we're going to hand applique it down.
all right. So you have like a nice, what weight is that? 50 or is it? You can use any nice fine thread, right? 50 or
Right.
higher. Because I have like an 80 applique thread, and I have some silk and stuff like that. But you want something that kind of matches, right?
Yeah, I've been using Aurifil for quite a while.
Yep.
Before I knew about that, there was another thread out there that I used a lot, but Aurifil has a lot of pretty colors.
Yeah, a lot of pretty colors.
And so now for hand applique, I do not start from the back. I go underneath and into my fold.
And bury that tail in there.
And then that knot is gone. So now we're going to hand applique it down.
So she inserted her needle right where that knot was coming out of that fold. She went into the background.
Yes, into the background, then up into the top.
And scooted
so-
over to the fold.
Right. Now, if you go a little back, you're going to see the stitch.
Yeah, so
If
you want that thread just to go right around that curve, that folded edge, not
Yep.
at an angle. You want
No,
it.
you don't want to go backwards. You don't want to go forwards. You got to go straight in. Mm-hmm. And then you will
And then
never
about
see
like a
your thread.
little bit, like an 1/8 inch stitch.
You want to do it real tiny
Yeah.
because it's a circle.
Yes. So no big clunky stitches here. We want
Oh,
little
no,
tiny ones. So she's going into the background right where she came out on the fold, and then she's scooting over into the fold again and coming out. So that thread's just looping around that fold. It's called a blind hem stitch. And it's our favorite way to applique.
Yep.
And it's just like a binding stitch too.
So years ago, I used to do everything with freezer paper. Mm-hmm. Even my circles. Mm-hmm. And then at some point, I discovered, well, probably at the point that I started English paper piecing, changed everything.
Yeah.
Everything with paper, and I thought, wow, I can get a better circle
Without the freezer paper.
without the freezer paper, because
Well,
then
because you're doing it this way. But what if it's not a nice, smooth, circular shape? Do you still do all these flowers that way too, or are you
no, all the flowers on here is with freezer paper.
Right. I still use, yeah, I got
All
you.
my leaves are with freezer paper.
Anything that's a nice, smooth shape that you can do.
Okay, sometimes I'll get a pattern and maybe change the leaves to all orange peels.
Because you
Or
like
if
to
I
do it that
design
way.
my own,
Okay.
it will have.
So what she's saying is for this piece, she did this with freezer paper on the
Yes,
top and then
yes.
just folded under
Yep.
the freezer paper edge.
Yep.
All right. But you could do that as a template, I think, but that's too much work.
Now you'd be making so many different
Yeah.
templates. And my stems are all with a bias
Bias
maker.
tape, yeah.
Bias maker.
Yep.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yep.
The only thing different with this quilt was the long stems. I bought a big piece of green because I used it on a couple different quilts, but I had to figure out how to piece and do like two pieces there on those long
it's so
stems.
long, okay.
And so that was
Something you learned, right?
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so she's going to continue to go all the way around, and then you just put like a normal little knot, right? So you want to show them like the back of one of these you already got done.
Right.
Which one? This one probably shows up better.
Okay, so this one, you're going to end up with a knot on the outside, but you just make this little knot and then put it into the fabric a little bit. So at least you don't have your clunky knot. And then you don't have to worry about making it a tiny size or
Right.
anything like that.
All right, so that's how you handed them all over to me in a stack like this, right?
Let's re-show them just a little bit how the back should look like when you're done.
Okay, yep, nice tiny little stitches.
Yep.
Nothing big and long. About 1/8 or less, would you say? Not even probably 1/8, but
No, it's just,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so that's what Joanne handed me, 20 sets like this. 2 dark, 2 light. So I'll show you what I've done then to get ready to piece. So we'll just do a little house cleaning.
Yep. Just move this
All right,
stuff
I'm
to
just
the
going to
side.
slide this out of the way. All right, so I think this is probably a good way to do this. So then I'm just going to take my ruler and figure out what half my measurement is, and then I'm going to trim. Make sure I did that right. And then trim the other way. So then I have 4. All right. It's a lot easier to cut when you're standing, but I'm kind of winging it here a little bit. There we go. There's all of our pieces. So then I already built one out here. And you got to be careful with this layout. Always remember, kiss these. Kiss, kiss, kiss when you're laying them out. And then you're just going to sew them together in rows. And you can do, I can't remember if I probably opened every seam just because they're so little. But if you wanted to, you could push them one way and push that one that way. But when they're little like this, and especially because you have a double layer here, I think I opened everything. All right. And then when you do this seam here in the middle, you're going to open those as well. And this is your friend, any kind of pressing stick that isolates your seam that you're pressing so it doesn't mess up the rest of them that we have. But we really love how this turned out. Joanne just saw it not too long ago.
I think it's beautiful.
Yes, 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 yes.
I was
And
surprised when she gave me the Joe Morton fabric,
Yeah.
and I realized, whoa, that has to be new in the shop.
Yep, it's brand new. It's reissued. So it was some of her older line that Andover reissued now, and it's available right now in the store. And we will have these fabrics. And there are more fabrics in the line, so anything that's in that line will look good in this quilt. We just picked 20 of the fabrics. So we will have a kit available for this as well as a pattern. So we'll have everything ready for you when we are ready to release this. Again, this is Evelyn, and it is named after my maternal grandmother. So do you have anything else that we might need to talk about, Joanne?
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining me and letting them know your secrets of all your years of expertise and what might be what works for you best.
Right. There's
Okay.
probably other methods.
Yep.
This is just how I do it.
Yep, and that's okay because sometimes we're all taught by different people, and that's why you got to still keep taking classes so you learn, because there's always new products as well. We didn't used to have glue sticks. We didn't used to have a lot of that stuff. So I just want to thank you again for coming on. All right. Take care, honey.
Yep.
All right. Okay, so look for other videos that Joanne has done with me here at Primitive Gatherings. We'll put some of those in our description. But thank you again, and join us for our next month of minis. Bye now.